Lesson 6.3, we're going to practice elimination using addition and subtraction. We're still working with systems of equations. We're just going to look at maybe a new and improved way of solving systems of equations so that you don't have to go through the substitution method that we used last week. So we'll look first at this problem. In Chicago, Illinois, there are 2 more months, A, when the mean high temperature is below 70. So then there are months B when it is above 70. So that means if you live in Chicago, you'll spend 2 more months below 70 degrees than you will spend months above 70 degrees. The system of equations A plus B equals 12. That's the number of months below 70 plus the number of months above 70 equals 12. And A minus B, that's the number of months below 70 minus the number of months above 70 equals 2. So that's the system of equations. We're going to solve this using elimination instead of using substitution. I think if we were going to use substitution, you guys would know what to do pretty quick. Add B to both sides to find out what A is and then substitute into the other equation, right? Okay, but instead of doing that, we're going to take a little shortcut. We're going to write out this equation, A plus B equals 12. And I want to line up beneath it all of the elements of this equation that are the same. So I want to make sure it's in the same order. So this is going to be A minus B equals 2. Then what?
You cancel out B's and you get 2A equals 14.
We're just going to add these 2 equations together. So this is one big addition problem right here is all it is. So A plus A, since they're both positive, is 2A. A positive B and a minus B cancel each other out, and it equals 14. 12 plus 2 is 14. See what happened there? Does that make sense? Divide by 2. Oops, that's a 2, believe it or not. So A is 7. Now that we know what A is, all we have to do is substitute back into one of the original equations and we can figure out what B is. So 7 plus B equals 12. Subtract 7, so B is 5. Okay? Now we write it as an ordered pair, right? Always write answers to systems of equations as ordered pairs. So 7, 5. If we're using letters other than X and Y, probably for today we can just talk about putting them in an alphabetical order. If that's not the case, you might have to think about what independent and dependent variables are. So A would be independent and B would be dependent here. Yes. Okay. All right, so let's just move on and look at a couple of examples. I have, I don't know, half a dozen examples or so to work through with you. Use elimination to solve the systems of equations, this system of equations. So just line up the elements, 3x minus 6y equals 3. You always want to find one. In order for elimination to work, at least at this point, what we need to find is 2 parts of the equation that will cancel out, right? We've got a plus 6y and a minus 6y. That's the way that we know elimination will work in this case. All right, so we can do addition here. 4x plus 3x is 7x. These 2 cancel out. 32 plus 3 is 35. Divide by 7 and x is 5. Now that I know what x is, I can go back to my original equations and substitute. So 4 times 5 plus 6y equals 32. Minus 20. So 6y equals 12. Y is 2. Write your answer as an ordered pair. 5, 2. Okay. Again, we'll just line up the elements of the equations. So 4x minus 5y equals 5. x's cancel out. You've got 3x minus, or 3y minus 5y. Negative 2y equals
Positive 2.
positive 2. Divide by negative 2. So y is negative 1. Substitute back into the original equation, so it's 4x minus 5 times negative 1 equals 5. 4x plus 5 equals 5. Subtract 5. So 4x equals 0.
No solution?
No, x equals 0. 0 works as an ordered pair. 0, comma, negative 1. All right. The equations, sometimes we'll have to rearrange the order of the equation in order for things to line up the way we want them to. So in this case, 4y plus 3x, I can change the order of addition. So 3x plus 4y equals 22. And add these together. So 3x plus 3x is 6x. These cancel, and it equals 36. So x is 6. I can substitute 6 into this equation. 4y plus 3 times 6 equals 22. So that would be 4y plus 18 equals 22. Y equals 4. So y equals 1. All right, feeling pretty good so far? You might have to write out your own system of equations based on a word problem or on a description like this. So negative 3 times one number plus 5 times another number is negative 11. And then 3 times the first number plus 7 times the other number is negative 1. So the x terms cancel. You've got 12 equals, or 12y, whoops, I forgot the variable, 12y equals negative 12. So y is negative 1. So 3x plus 7 times negative 1 equals negative 1. 3x minus 7 equals negative 1. Add 7. 3x equals 6. So x is 2. 2 negative 1. All right. Solve the systems of equations by using subtraction. So sometimes, if you'll notice, we've got two terms that are the same, but they're both positive. And so we have been using addition, right, on all of these other examples we've done. But we can use subtraction. So I want to subtract everything in this equation. Well, let's actually do this one. This one would be easier. Let's do minus 2x. I'm going to end up with a minus 5y as well, right? If I'm going to change 2x to negative, I've got to change this to negative. So minus 5y. and it's got to equal -6. You have to change the sign of everything if you change the sign of one thing. Does that make sense? And so you end up, these cancel out. 9y minus 5y is 4y, and 22 minus 6 is 16. Divide by 4, so y is 4. Now you can substitute 4 into either one of the equations for y. So 2x plus 5 times 4 equals 6. 2x plus 20 equals 6. 2x equals negative, oops, I wrote 60. I don't know where that came from. 6 minus 20 is 14, negative 14. So x equals -7. Does that make sense? You can subtract to eliminate an equation as well, but you've got to remember to change the sign of everything in that equation. One more example. So we're going to use subtraction. So I want to do minus 8b, and then I have to do what? Minus 3c equals -11. So the 8b's cancel out. 7c minus 3c is 4c. 7 minus 11 would be -4. Divide by 4, so c is -1. (8b) plus 3 times -1 equals -11.
Positive 1.
Positive 11, thank you. It is positive 11. All right, so 8b minus 3 equals 11. Add 3, 8b equals 14. Divide by 8, so b is 1.75. Okay, so ordered pairs in this case, well, since we don't have any information about the equation, what they represent for as far as independent or dependent variables, we just put them in alphabetical order for the ordered pair. So 1.75 comma -1. That makes sense? All right, I've got a worksheet for you today. It'll be the same directions as Friday. So choose 10 problems, choose one of the word problems.